Howdy folks, it's episode 84 of my blind RS3 Ironman playthrough, adding something to the candy loop that I've technically been working on for a while here. I'm trying to get enough sandstone to make the Blessed Flask. The Blessed Flask is like super unnecessary. It's a ridiculous grind for very mild quality of life, but I need something that's AFK, and there's a bunch of steps in the process of making the Blessed Flask that are AFK, so that's why I'm doing it. Before we get to the playthrough in this episode, I'm going to be doing a very annoying 15-minute tedious Marstead ramble. I haven't done one of these in RS3 for a very long time. Talking about revolution and full manual combat, and a thing that I somehow managed to not know for 4,000 hours of play. When I say tedious, I really mean tedious, so if you don't want to hear me like bitch and moan for 15 minutes, I have a time code in the description. You should just skip it and get to the playthrough. Doing a bunch of interesting things in this episode, though. Main thing is Desperate Times, which is a quest that I very much did not enjoy, and then a couple mini quests after that. Let's get to it. Okay, guys, before we get into the video here, I have to do a tedious Marstead ramble. I think I've only done a couple of these for the RS3 playthrough. I did a ton of them in Bonfire Man. So the ramble is about combat, specifically full manual combat in EOC. I have been playing this game for 4,000 hours, according to Hans, without realizing that if you turn off Revolution and manually press buttons, that you can attack while moving. And you might be going, how is he such an idiot? How could that possibly be the case? And I need to explain to you how that's the case and how there is a problem with RS3, that it's possible for me to get this far without knowing that. All right, so let's build up the context here. I didn't play RuneScape as a kid, right? My first exposure to RuneScape was in 2019 with old school RuneScape. In old school RuneScape, there is no such thing as conventional MMO targeting. Like, you don't press the tab key to select a target. Your target is simply the thing that you're clicking. When you click on an enemy, your character starts attacking them and auto-attacks them indefinitely until the enemy dies, or you click on a different enemy, or if you click on the ground. What that means is that old school RuneScape doesn't remember the last thing you targeted. If you click an enemy, attack it once, and then click on the ground, it might show its health bar above its head for a couple seconds before it fades out, but that doesn't represent that the game remembers that you targeted it. It would do that for anybody who attacks any monster. You would see their health bar appear above their heads. So I played old school RuneScape for like 5,000 hours across multiple modes, very used to this idea of targeting, that unlike, World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, you do not have a held target in RuneScape. You click on an enemy, you focus on the enemy until you decide to click somewhere else, and when you click somewhere else, you drop target and have to click them again to retarget. So then I come to RuneScape 3. If you have been playing RuneScape your whole life and you lived through EOC, then there was a period after EOC launched but before Revolution came in where you were forced to just play the game attentively by just mashing the buttons constantly, right? It was hell. In fact, that's going to be the argument I make in the video essay, that the reason EOC was so disastrous for the game was because people didn't really think of RuneScape as an idle game at the time, and they took an activity like Slayer training that was incredibly inattentive and made it super attentive. They inverted the identity of the game, and that's what really pissed people off at the time. Revolution mostly fixed this, but Revolution came way too late. It was after the controversy had already happened and people had already quit. But if you played it all during this window, you would have inevitably understood this implicit change that they made to the game. You would be forced to manually activate your abilities all the time, and eventually you would just realize almost by pure accident, oh wow, the abilities still go off, even if I'm clicking and running away. That's cool. But if you're a brand new player trying RS3 after the release of Revolution, you're almost certainly going to turn on Revolution immediately and never have that experience, like what I did. If you come to RS3 used to old school RuneScape, you don't want combat to be really attentive because combat's one of the more chill, idle things in this game. So you immediately turn on Revolution. Like, the game points you to Revolution, you should have Revolution on right away. In fact, Revolution is optimal for basically everything you're going to do in PvM for probably thousands of hours, at least hundreds of hours, right? If you're killing cows for Slayer tasks at a low combat level, you do not need full manual ever. So if you're a new RS3 player and you didn't play RS3 when EOC first launched, your first exposure to this game's combat is Revolution, and with Revolution, it works exactly the same as old school RuneScape when it comes to targeting. That is, with Revolution turned on, you have to click on an enemy. When you click the enemy, your character starts auto-attacking using the abilities in your Revolution bar, one after the other. If you click on the ground to move away, your target has been dropped and can't be reestablished until you click on the boss again. Now, something funny happened when EOC launched that doesn't appear to be in any of the materials for EOC. If you look on the wiki or the original blog post, there doesn't seem to have been a mention that they changed something very fundamental behind the scenes about the way combat works in this game. This is especially surprising because EOC otherwise, and I think most people even who enjoy RS3 would agree with me, was at least initially a very lazy implementation on a very bad foundation, right? Like, because RuneScape is a game based on a tick system and on like a mud-like style of movement where you're teleporting to every other square, they probably needed to totally revamp the back end in order to make EOC not feel like shit, but they didn't. They built it on that crappy foundation, and it has felt kind of sucky and mushy since the beginning, especially compared to modern MMOs that have been built from the ground up with a GCD ability bar approach. This is better now. Necromancy is built a little bit better, understanding the limitations of the engine, and then they've gone back and done a combat rebalance that has made the other combat styles feel a little bit better, but it doesn't feel like, Final Fantasy XIV combat or World of Warcraft combat. It feels like this thing has been grafted onto RuneScape, which is what happened. So again, trying to help build the case for me why you should have empathy for me for not knowing this thing for 4,000 hours. I come into this game and it looks like EOC is a very lazy implementation. They've changed basically nothing about how RuneScape works on the back end. But they did make a huge change, and the change that they made is that your target is held now after you click it. That is, if you click an enemy to attack it and then immediately click the ground to run away, the game remembers that that was your last target. Now, in old school RuneScape, when you click an enemy and attack it, its health bar appears above its head for a few seconds and fades away. In RS3, a little target panel appears. The panel has its health, but it also has things like its name, any accuracy bonus you might have against the target, any debuffs that are on the target. And importantly, this panel doesn't fade away like the health bar does in old school RuneScape after you hit an enemy once. Whatever your most recent enemy you attacked was, that panel just kind of stays up indefinitely. Now, I thought that what they did is they just took the fading health bar and made it a little fancier and left it up as like a quality of life improvement. I did not think that the continued existence of the targeting panel meant that my character was remembering that it targeted the last enemy, which is a pretty substantial change of the way combat works. And now, having played RuneScape 3 for 4,000 hours, the game has continually reinforced to me this idea that I have to click an enemy to attack it because everything I do is in Revolution, and Revolution only activates when I click it. And if I click to move, that it can't continue to attack it while I'm moving. I have to click it again at the end of my movement, come to a complete stop, and then start attacking again. I have occasionally been playing the game with a combat bar active and accidentally clicked or activated one of the abilities on my bar. And what happens when you do that is that you get a little spinning circle on the ability, and then nothing happens because you don't have a target because you haven't attacked anything, right? If there's a spinning circle on an ability on your bar and then you click to attack an enemy, you will use that ability first. And in fact, that's how I've been stunning things in the ambassador fight, is I'll click on the ability that stuns it. It'll start spinning in a circle, and then I'll click on the black hole, and it'll hit the black hole. Sometimes. In fact, I've had really bad problems with getting this to work the way I want it to. It's felt very mushy and unresponsive to me, which is part of why RS3 combat has felt like ass to me, because it's like the game is telling me to do this very specific thing, select this enemy, and then stun it. I feel like I'm doing that I'm, clicking on the ground to drop target from the ambassador, preparing to cast the stun ability by clicking it on my bar, and then clicking on the black hole to stun it, and then sometimes it just didn't stun. And I was like, I couldn't understand why it wasn't working. I have been trying to beat the Ambassador for over a year now. I think I first did it when Necromancy launched to try to get my tier 90 power armor and couldn't beat it. I tried doing it with K5 Josh. We couldn't get past the spinners phase. At the time, everyone was like, oh, well, you just need, overloads, or you need overhead curses, or you need this, or you need that. And every time they pointed that out to me, I'm like, that doesn't seem like that is enough of an upgrade, right? Y'all are talking about, 5%, 10% increases. How could that possibly make a difference? The problem is that I did not seem to have sufficient DPS to clear the spinners phase, that I would always have 3 or more spinners left over, and I was really struggling to kill the 2 that I managed to kill. Some people were saying, you know what, you need to drop Revolution. Don't use Revolution at all. This is a boss that you have to fight with full manual. But my conception of what full manual is that it's a very sweaty, slight DPS increase, right? That best case scenario, if you're pressing your buttons absolutely optimally, that it's going to increase your DPS by 5%, right? With the trade-off being that you are now playing really, really, really attentively. So instead of going full manual, I just decided to have all of my, stupid abilities that I would just be spamming on Revolution, even if that's only 2 or 3 necromancy abilities, the stuff that generates necrosis stacks and the like. let that run on Revolution, and then anything that actually consumes resources like Finger of Death, Soul Strike, put that on manual and activate that manually. But here's the problem. Full manual is a 100% to 200% to maybe 300% DPS increase for fights like the Ambassador. It is not a little 5% bonus over Revolution. It is like night and day over Revolution. The reason for that is because of the stealth change that Jagex made to the way targeting works. Unlike old school RuneScape and unlike RS3 itself, whenever Revolution is on in any capacity, if you click an enemy and then click off the enemy to move, the target is remembered, and if you activate any abilities on full manual, they will still hit that last target. Every single one of you who's an RS3 veteran is like, yeah, fucking duh, dude. Like, do you really need a 9-minute ramble to explain this? I need you to know why I didn't know this. There is no content in the game that forces you to understand this outside of a couple of bleeding edge PVM bosses. If you just proceed in this game on the assumption that you just stop moving to attack, that your target is always dropped when you click away and you have to click them again to fight them, that assumption will carry you through every quest boss in the game. It'll carry you through many of the endgame bosses. Like, I've done 5 mechanic Arch Glacier before operating on that assumption, and I'd probably reduced my DPS by like 5%, not attacking while moving, I guess. The only reason we discovered the issue is because I was complaining specifically about the Black Stone Dragon in Elite Dungeon 2. At the end of that fight, he does like a farting attack where he's constantly moving and shooting fire out from his butt, and I was saying, how is it possible for me to DPS this guy? Because I have to constantly be moving to dodge the flame, and I don't even have like a tick to stand still and DPS him. I have to move constantly. And that's when Serblib was like, oh, you like when you're on full manual and you activate abilities, they just hit your target so you can be attacking while you're running. And I'm like, what? What? I've had a lot of people really mad at me in this video series when I was doing PVM, where it was really like demotivating for me to get into these fights with people in the YouTube comments about the Ambassador. They're like, come on, man, just fucking do it. Why are you giving up? And I'm like, I'm giving up because it appears to be impossible, and it must be dependent on me having a suite of insane endgame gear. And they're like, come on, bro, look at this VOD of somebody, beating the Ambassador at minimum gear level, and they could beat it, and why can't you beat it? And I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the problem is. Well, now I know what the problem is. When I'm doing the spinners phase and I have to attack each of the fragments, I am running from the beam, getting to a point where I can stand still to get like 3 GCDs off. The beam catches up to me. I stop attacking, and then I run as far as I can to try to start attacking it 1 or 2 more times, leaving it with like 5% health left. And in a world where I can't keep attacking it while I'm moving, I just assume that it's at 5% health. I can't get to it until I loop all the way back around, or if I surge through the beam to attack it again. I haven't attempted the Ambassador since learning this misunderstanding I had about the core game mechanics, but I assume that it's super doable now. Like, I'm no longer afraid that I'm never going to be able to beat it. I understand now why a lot of you were saying, come on, bro, just use full manual, but I don't think that anyone that was trying to get through to me on this understood my misunderstanding. And this kind of contributes to the overall problem I have with RS3 and the max pilled nature of the player base and Jagex themselves. I don't even think Jagex realizes that they have this gigantic understanding gap that any new player coming to RS3 is inevitably going to do what I did, which is turn on Revolution. Revolution is going to train them to have a certain expectation about how targeting works for hundreds, if not thousands of hours. And then there's nothing in the game that forces them to understand, oh, if I turn off Revolution, I can activate abilities as much as I want while I'm running away from something. Because there is a very small minority of boss fights that actually have a DPS check as hardcore as the Spinners phase and the Ambassador, where it's like, if you're not attacking while moving, you will lose. This is like one of the only times that happens in the entire game. The way that an MMO like Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft would solve this problem is they would have some kind of required boss somewhere along the track through the game where you are forced to learn and internalize this mechanic, right? In Final Fantasy XIV, you have to play everything in order. You can't really skip anything without spending money to skip things. And in playing through older dungeons, you will eventually learn how a gaze attack works. So like if you're in a modern endgame raid and an enemy has a giant eyeball appear above their head, you must know what that means because you've gotten through many other bosses that have forced you to understand it. Frequently quest bosses that teach it to you. That would be my solution. I doubt that Jagex is listening to this multiple 100-hour-long series, but if you are, what you need to do in this game, there needs to be a really simple free-to-play quest that's available immediately and preferably is a prerequisite to do basically any endgame content. Like I would add this as a short 20-minute free-to-play quest. I would say that it needs to be done to even attempt the Elite Dungeons, for example. probably needs to be completed to attempt basically any endgame boss. All you need to do is have a really simple fight where there's a boss that's very easy to kill. It doesn't have any attacks. It just kind of stands in the middle of the room, and there's like hot coals on the ground or something, right? If you stand on the hot coals for 1 tick without moving, you get a stack of a debuff. If you move, all stacks of the debuff are cleared immediately. If you get 4 stacks of the debuff, you die instantly. And so the challenge has been super isolated. What you're supposed to do is turn off Revolution, run around the room, or even walk around the room, right? As long as you're walking, it clears the debuffs. And while you're walking, press a couple of your ability keys. And in the space of like, maybe 30 seconds to a minute of doing that, depending on the level of the character attempting it, they will win. But if they stand still for even a second and try to kill it, they're going to lose. That's how World of Warcraft or any other modern MMO would try to teach this core mechanic, that there would be something in the game that forces you to understand this before you move forward. There is no such thing in RS3. You cannot know that you can attack while moving for 4,000 hours, max your account, almost get the quest cape, fight a lot of endgame bosses, and not know that. And I think that that's a big problem with the design of RS3. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Snuck up on me. 101 Slayer. I keep getting hit by level ups that I'm not noticing are happening. 114 archaeology from doing these turn-ins. I feel like I should probably stop doing this soon. I'm running out of chronotes. I have been doing it every day for a while and using my advanced time to get more value out of it. Probably a good enough time as any to stop. Here are the final figures on materials gathered from, I got like 3 levels from doing this. So I spent like 1.5 million chronotes. So this is all the mats that I got. It's really interesting that there are some mats that I just have like thousands and thousands of, and several that I'm still only like, 200. I don't know if that's something weird about the missions that you can run, that some of them just return significantly fewer resources. At some point I might try to do my Petra compasses because I have the resources to build them. How many do I have banked here? It should be easier for me to make all the artifacts that spit out to almost 12. I might actually consider seeing if I can boost to make some of these ones in here too, just to get them out of my bank. Just took everything out. I did the Emissary of the Godless +2 skill boost. I'm just going to make as many of these things as I can, save myself some bank space. All right, so I made a bunch of prototype god swords, Kalikra mace, Kalikra chieftain crown, Virius trophy, Hellfire Hality are the new things that I just created. I don't have the level to make the other stuff yet. Looking up what I can do with the extra copies of relics I have here, because I still have a prototype god sword, which I guess makes a relic power. Probably not one that I'm actually going to use, but I think there's somewhere in Howell's workshop I can interact with that will give me a research I can do to let me do something new with it. This is it. Theoretical blueprints. I think I could have done that a while ago. Howling Man. Okay. Don't think I just need to do Howling Man. I think there's still more to do here other than that. Requires World Wakes and stuff. Okay, Subtle Blade. Thanks to my World Guardian status, this is talking about Guthix's sword. Allow me to teleport with ease. Okay. Okay. Experimental ether reactor. Never go into a Guthix cache again, so that's fine. All right, let me go make this Subtle Blade. I have to go back to the Guthix ruins. Main entrance. It's this thing. Sitting here the whole time, I guess. My World Guardian power should let me safely pick up a shard. Well, that should be enough to craft the thing now. Not particularly useful or optimal or whatever, but I might actually turn on this relic power. It makes it so that you can cast teleport spells without needing runes. Not that I'm trying to save runes, but that way I can just, cast the spells without having to keep... It'll reduce the brain power necessary. I don't really need to teleport around that often, but I guess while I'm doing quests, it's kind of helpful. Very few of these teleport spells are useful. I probably cast them fewer than 100 times in this whole playthrough because of how useful lodestones are. Subtle Blade. There we go. Oh, you find the invention pet. It's been added to your inventory. Sure. I have so many scaling pets, it's really funny. All right. I gotta go take that to the monolith. Okay, Subtle Blade, observe. To the monolith. Beautiful. Okay, so I think what we do is I get rid of Pouch Protector, because I'm not going to be doing rune crafting basically ever. Hopefully. I can always turn it back on in the future if I need it again. Yeah, it costs 5,000 chronotes, that's fine. Oh, can I not harness it at the same time? Is it really that expensive? This is 250? Huh. That seems silly. I guess I could use these other loadouts, but... Well, let me get rid of Pouch Protector while I'm here and see if there's something else that is globally useful. I wonder why they made that so expensive. I don't think it's that big of a quality of life improvement. Yeah, I don't think there's any other relic that's as useful to just have on all the time. I don't want to get rid of Persistent Rage because it's like so convenient. So I guess, all right, I'm not going to use that then. In the process of clearing out archaeology artifacts, I was able to make a couple sets to turn in for engineering tokens, and I'm really close to level 100 dungeoneering. I'm going to try to level exclusively with lamps and the like from now on. So I guess I'm going to go get that with tokens real quick. This should be dungeoneering 100. There it is. Don't think I care about any dungeoneering levels. It was pretty close to hitting 100 fletching here too, so I'm going to do that really quick. I just don't want these levels to sneak up on me when I don't have OBS turned on, right? There's fletching 100. Okay, back to mining sandstone. Yeah, mining level here. I am almost done with this grind, you guys. It's something. 106 mining. Show you here. I need 22,222 of each kind. Real close. Then I have to start telekinetic grinding it, which is going to take a really long time. I need to get through that because on the other side is Blessing the Sand, which seems like absolutely transcendental AFK. I'm really looking forward to that. Hey, it's done. I finally have them. A little bit overkill. I kept mining for 1 or 2 more trips, but I have 88,888 sandstone. Now I have to start telekinetic grinding it, which is going to take a while. But I light the end of the tunnel. Blessing the Sand is going to be so much AFK. I'm just going to go ahead and get the runes for this. It's going to burn through basically all of my astral runes. I have a few left over. This is another one of those things where it's like I felt kind of crazy for doing a daily run and buying astral runes every day for like half a year. But now that insanity has been validated. Stop validating my insanity, RS3. Alright, now I need to cast Telekinetic Grind like 3,200 times. Annoyingly, it asks you to click twice here, even though it does your full inventory. I don't even know why it asks a second click here, so it slows things down a little bit, but I can do it pretty quickly here. I'm almost done with this grinding. I'm going to give myself Carpal Tunnel. I've got 6,344 left, so Andrea, what I have to do is I have to press Telekinetic Grind and then click this, and then right-click Load Last Preset, Grind, Load Last Preset, Grind, Load Last Preset, Grind, and my hand's going to fall off. Well, that would be cheating.
Oh.
You can't cheat. You got to do it yourself. But I am going to like hurt my hand from repetitive stress injury as a result. Although Andrea's first answer is, can you just like cheat? Because this looks like this sucks.
Like, why would you do this to yourself?
It sucks pretty. I'm almost done. Unfortunately, as you'll see, each time I grind, I don't get exactly 28. So it could turn out that I finish this project.
Buy 8 hot dogs for 10 bucks.
Yes, exactly. And it gives me a different amount every single time. So I'm hoping I don't have to go mine more sandstone. They are bastards. It's true. It's true. There's no value gained from that, right? See, in the time you've been watching me, I've already done 2,000, so...
Look accomplished?
Yes, actually, very much so. Got a bad feeling about this, y'all. This is my last inventory, and I don't think I hit 40,000. I did. Wow. I guess the last few grinds. Well, thank you, power of statistics, power of large numbers. We had enough. I think I actually have enough left over to make an earthen furnace core, but I don't think I have to do that, so we'll see. I'll hold on to the extra sandstone or extra fine sand just in case. So now begins the era of transcendental AFK as I sit here and bless the sand, an altar of Ceredomin. Fucking God, hold on. Changing it to an altar of Ceredomin. I'd like to do it here so that I get the rested XP for being here, right? Is this not, are you not going to count this? All right, game. All right, you want to be a dick about it. That's okay. All right, for real this time? There we go. It's like 71 seconds of true AFK, and I never have to leave this spot. I can just sit here. It's fantastic. I'm going to get so much work done. I have a few minutes to play slightly attentively here, so I think I'm going to go try to make some aggression potions. I'll add that to the candy loop tracker. And then try to fight these tormented wraiths for a holy elixir, which is what I need to finish the blessed flask. Okay, never fought lava strike worms before. I believe what you do is you just walk up to these little mounds, investigate them, then you just fight them, and it's fine. You don't have to do anything special. You hit somewhat hard. I've basically fought no high-level Slayer monsters, so I really don't have any conception of, like, which ones are difficult, what kind of resources I need. I don't want to get a ton of aggression potions here. Okay, I guess I have to run away when it does that burrowing attack. Feed a lava strike worm. Okay. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to get a couple of these here. I think it's triggering those fire attacks. I don't know if I'm able to, like, avoid those by moving or something. Pulls you into it when it goes underground and then does a shitload of damage when it pops out, it seems like. So you can pretty substantially minimize damage taken if you run away when it sucks you in. That makes sense. It looks like if I want to make a lot of aggression potions in the future, I'm going to want the Wieldy Sword 4 because it's going to let me note Searing Ashes when I kill those guys. So I'm just going to do a quick task associated with that. I'm going to plant this bloodweed seed. I'm going to ultra compost it. Supreme growth it. Go ahead and pick it. Probably should have brought my farming cape, but whatever. Make these unfinished potions. There we go. Come at me, bro. I don't have to get 3 aggression potion 4s, which is enough for like an hour of AFKing tormented wraiths, so I gotta go figure out if this is like viable at all. Hold on. Need a black weapon for this. I don't think it really matters which one I get. I'm just gonna go with a black two-handed sword. I think someone sells that. Hold on. Earthorp sells it. Okay, so we'll grab that, and I guess I need to pick up Jenica's ring to get there. We'll see. It might end up making more sense to just fight the corporeal beast, but since this is potentially AFK and, like, painless, I'd rather do that. I guess this was added at the same time as Summer's End. Somewhere in the center of this place, you equip Jenica's ring, and there's a portal in here. I don't see it, but try it here. Operate. Operate. Here we go. Sure, I'll take the defense experience. Okay. So I guess there's tormented wraiths here somewhere. These guys? I don't know where the best place to farm them is. A little worried about needing to use a black two-handed sword, but it looks like it's fine. Like, it's obviously slower than if I could do it with other gear. Let me try to figure out if I have a better chance to fight these guys somewhere else. Oh, I missed that there is only one tormented wraith, and it spawns in this room. Okay. I don't think the aggression potions work. Maybe it takes a second for them to aggro. Oh, no, it does work. Okay. and I'll just AFK this for a bit. I'm just going to do this until I run out of aggression potions, but this content is so weird. Like, everything... Summer's End as a quest is very strange, but then everything else related to Summer's End is even weirder. There's one ghost that spawns in this room every 5 seconds, and he has 80 oak planks is on his drop table. It's odd. According to the wiki, equipping a Ring of Wealth slightly increases the drop chance here. Seems suspicious, but I'm going to go ahead and do it because there's not worth not benefiting from it. I guess it's separate from the main benefit of just having higher luck. Hopefully a Ring of Wealth C still works. I don't know why it wouldn't, but... Alright, so I've been here for a lot of kills. I'll calculate it here. 912. Still haven't gotten a drop. I probably won't go more than like a couple thousand. Just because we don't know what the actual drop rate is. It could be 1 in 2,000, which is doable but nasty. It could be like 1 in 5,000, which is like a Dragon Warhammer. This is easier to farm than a Dragon Warhammer. If it's more than 1 in 5,000, it's just a meme drop rate and it isn't real, you know, and I probably should just go ahead and do Corp. This is going to be kill number 1,000. I'm going to get out of here for a little bit to go work on some other stuff, but I'll come back later. No dice. I was able to keep track of kill count based on my XP here, since you always get 112 XP per kill. Oh, hey, I got a Spirit Shield to drop, finally. That's around 1,057 KC for a Spirit Shield. Not too bad. Hey, there it is. That wasn't too bad. I'm going to get out of here. All right. I mean, it was a pretty long grind, but it could have been way, way, way worse. I'll let you know the KC here. Hell yeah. Okay, so I did 1,801 kills. That's not too bad. And it is real. I also ended up getting a total of 4 Spirit Shields, which doesn't really matter, but I'll update the wiki talk page with information since I couldn't find any information about the practical drop rate of this thing. All right, now that I got that holy elixir taken care of, it is time to work on quests. Next up is Desperate Times, where I have to talk to Saren on the roof of the... Why is Saren in Burthorpe? That's so weird. Guess we're about to... Oh my god, are we doing this shit? Oh boy. All right, well, we're doing this again. Okay, well, I'm already exhausted just after walking into this room. Runt, Armadil, Major Mary Rancor, Moya, the Aniromancer, Juna, Zarador, Saren, Ceramic Vars, Azanadra, Iclaran, Commander Ziliana, Thok, King Narnode Shireen, Zanuck, who looks really weird compared to everybody else. Venescula's here for some reason. Osman. Okay, and of these characters, I have to talk to Saren. They got away from this shit for like a year, and then they couldn't help themselves but come back to it, apparently. Gathered everyone together. You no fucking kidding, you did.
Good
oh, now we're doing
people
this style of
Gillinor,
cutscene, okay.
Thank you for coming. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Saren. Some call me the goddess of the elves. I have called you here because you represent every race of people and every god on Gillinor. There is a threat which faces every one of us, one you may be unaware of. The Elder Gods.
Oh boy. We're done with the gods, now we got the super gods.
Than our world. Indeed, they created this world, and indirectly, everything on it. Great artifacts like the Stone of Jazz, which have brought us war and woe for millennia, are merely their discarded tools. They are so powerful, so far beyond all of us, that even we gods are nothing more than ants to them. For the entire
There have to be like
lifetime of this
elder
planet,
gods after
they
this,
have
right?
slept. But now, they are waking up. To them, this planet and all of its people are nothing more than food for their children. They laid their eggs in the heart of the planet, and when they hatch, they will consume Gillinor and all life on it. Then they will move on to the rest of the universe.
Oh, we have to save the universe now.
Destroying
Jesus.
world after world, until their work is finished.
Can we get back to the little slice of life quests?
How can I know this?
Why'd you call us all here?
Because
This quest not require anything.
It fills my
It requires the
heart
needle
with
skips and you
pride
are
to
it.
be
That's it. So
considered
they
the
couldn't put it in
goddess
like
of my
Prif,
people.
right?
But that is not my true identity. My mother was an elder god, though weak, deformed, abandoned, no threat to Gielinor. She created me millions of years ago, along with another. I went out into the universe, discovered mortal life, and though it took time, I learned to appreciate the joy and wonder that your kind brings to existence. I do not share the goal of my kin. I would not see life on this planet, in this universe, ended. We have only one chance to avoid this fate. You must meet with the Elder Gods. You must go before them. Prove to them that you are more than merely food to be consumed. I am sure that they will come to see your value as I have.
Okay.
That is why I have brought
It's really
you
funny
here,
that this is here at
to
Berthorpe.
warn you, to plead with you to make this case. It is only by working together that you can do this. Only united can you show the Elder Gods that you are worthy.
Tales of the Apocalypse. I can verify parts of it. Gods on top of gods, what can we do about it? If this had, like, you know, a million prerequisites, I would think it's less stupid, but the fact that it has like 2 trivial prerequisites is kind of annoying. Okay. You're a neutral part, yeah. I'm sure I am. All right. Talk to the council. My God, there's so many people here. I don't care. I might just look up who to talk to. Hold on. All right, so I got to talk to Osman. Do you know where we can plant the garden? Okay. They really want me to ask all 4 questions to every person in here? I don't feel bad for looking this up. Workforce. Okay. Azanadra provides the seeds. Oh, okay. Different people give different solutions, I guess. They call them Pharaoh Osman. Wonder if it would still say that even if I hadn't done those quests. Pharaoh will not allow a military force into the desert. This combination will not work. Oh, okay. You have to get some specific combination. All right, so do I have to like screw up my first attempt, I guess? Okay, Venescula. I would not want to do this before any of the vampire quests. I feel like this really, like, even just seeing Venescula being friendly really undercuts all of those quests if you haven't already done them. So like people are going to get mad no matter what combination you come up with, I guess. Okay. I wonder if there's a lot of different combinations of dialogue depending on who you talk to. Loath to act as opposition. I cannot support the White Knights. Okay. Why didn't you say that earlier, dude? I guess maybe everyone, they had to like come up with a fancy matrix where like everyone is unhappy with at least 2 other people or something. Oh, Carapax here? I don't see, where the fuck did he show up? Did he like spawn in somewhere? I literally can't see where he is. There's too many people here. Oh, there he is. Okay, kill the Elder God is what you're gonna say, right? Oh no, the needle was so good when we just used it for a cute little human story. Now we're gonna use it for this shit? Fuck. Okay. Must my aunts be punished? Okay. Sorry, Saren. It's funny with Doc. Okay. Definitely disappointed. I really, really like the needle skips because it's a human story, and yes, it uses the needle as like engine for the story, but it's not just in the service of God slop. I don't know, maybe it'll get good. This feels like desecrating a really good quest, but what are you gonna do, I suppose? Doc and Carapac. I feel nothing. Okay. Should not exist. Okay. Previously, it only affected one small story, but now we can make it affect the whole world. Okay. And squeeze them closed with your hands? Only you can close these instabilities, of course. Okay. feel like it's especially desecrating the quest by having us go back to the house, right? They could at least pretend like the house didn't exist. You have to run past poor Megan. Like, nope, don't mind me. I'm doing something way more fucking important than you. All right, back to Carapac. What's up? Is there nothing we can do? Okay. Karos? Go to the fenced-off woods owned by someone named MacGruber. Oh, man. Back into this mysterious hole? Yes. You doing the coffin? All right, I'll read this and report back. This is such a weird, like, late introduction. I've been following you for a long time. What, because I got the Ring of Karos? 3 enchanted keys. Okay. Okay, so we hid 3 keys around the world. One is the Throne of the Empty Lord. 4 warriors stand above the water, staring out at the world. Don't need a table around their shields of glistening white. Okay, so the third one is in... Oh, it's not Camelot. It's not Falador. As the night we are adorned. Strength and power is our allegiance. So Black Knight's Fortress. I don't know the second one, but we can go do the first one really quick. Oh, there's like a portal here. Okay, so I don't actually have to go inside, I guess. Okay, got some kind of puzzle. Oh, it's a sliding block puzzle. What's the pattern that I want to do here? Oh, the tiles seem to be fixed in place. What is that all about? Step on the random colors on the floor and occasionally it opens doors? I don't really understand. There's a chest over here. Okay. I don't know how I would possibly know the combination. I mean, this could be a cool puzzle, but let me see if I can figure out what the hell they're trying to do here. One also has a combination, I assume. All right, so there's a red chest with a combination. Oh, there is old recipe. 6 cups of rosemary, 3 cups of tomatoes, 145 grams of flour, 600 grams of wine. Save that. RTFW? Okay, that was correct. Cross, 2 dots, diamond, house. Screenshot of that. So those are these things, right? So now I'm able to start moving this, but I don't know what, like... Is it north? I guess maybe it doesn't matter as long as that's right in some direction. You always gotta have sliding block puzzles, I guess. I guess I probably need to get both answers to be able to do this, right? Make sure there's not like another interact. I don't know why this room even exists when I can't get in there. Oh, there's a plaque on this one that I missed. Okay. Okay. This is the first name, so D-A-M-A-N-D. be O. Yeah, the last one was Uglok, right? Okay, I was correct. All right, well, I know what I have to do then. So let me just do the sliding block puzzle. Almost done, but I have to get this square down to here. And I don't know enough about sliding block puzzles to know the way to do that without screwing up the whole puzzle, but I'll try to figure it out. Hold on. Do not look at how long it took me to do that. Don't look at the clock and try to figure it out. I'm so bad at sliding block puzzles. My brain is not good at them. I don't know what these Roman numerals are here for. Key appears in the air before you, immediately joins a necklace. It feels more powerful. Okay, so I have a key on this thing now is what we're saying. All right, well, that took forever. Black Knight's Fortress next, I guess. Looking everywhere. It said to bring a Skull of Remembrance. It's all the way on the first floor again. Here we go. Oh, Christ, another one of these? Okay, this is a quest. I don't know what the deal is with the, like, color portals. That's just, it feels like super arbitrary. Maybe there's something that determines why it opens one door but not the others. Okay, well, I've got 2 rooms that have nothing in them, so that's a little concerning, to say the least. I got another locked chest here with cake on the floor. Is it just cake? Okay. At least that's doable. And then rune. One's actually a little bit easier than the last one. Was correct. All right, here I go. I get that what you're supposed to do is like pick a row or a column and do just the one row or column and then treat the rest of the puzzle as though it's a separate, smaller puzzle, but for some reason it's just it's tough for my brain chemistry. Oh, I need to actually take a screenshot of this. Hold on. Okay, so I feel like I was solving this one much more quickly after being stuck on the last one. The outer part is completely correct. I have to leave an empty spot in the center. I don't know how to get the house to jump. It must be possible, right? But I think the implication is that I'm supposed to be able to leave the rest of the puzzle alone once I have a column and a row locked in. That I should be able to adjust these without touching anything else, but maybe it's different if the empty space is in the center. I have no idea. Okay, I googled a solver, and it is in fact not solvable in this state. So I guess when the gap is in the middle, you can't do the solve a row, solve a column trick. There's some other shenanigan. Okay. Okay. Again, it took me forever, but I did finally get it. Key appears in the air. All right. I need to look up the last location because I don't know where it is. Varrock Palace, apparently. Okay. All right, one more of these. I wish I were good at sliding block puzzles. I picked the wrong MMO to be bad at sliding block puzzles, because if this is a Monkey Island MMO, it's also a sliding block puzzle MMO. Yeah, a lot of these rooms are just pointless. It's so strange. Alright, I don't know what the clue is this time. Oh, is there another plaque? Okay. This again. Alright. YDTV. Oh, do we have to do a bunch of them this time? Okay. Wonder if we have to, like, figure one out by process of elimination this time or something. This room doesn't actually have a chest in it. I guess they have the empty rooms because this is different for every player or something. It feels very strange. Red berries. Is it literally NRQR? I don't know what order to interpret them being on the room, right? Okay, I guess that was right. I did that one already. I wish I could figure out what the hell they're going for here with the colors. The one that's BQDJ. I don't know what order. No, okay, so the other way around, JDQB. Okay, it's always left to right. All right. This time I just cheated and used the solver. Wait, am I wrong? Why am I wrong? I fucked something up somehow and I don't know how I did it. Well, let me figure that out then. Wait, did I get it this time? Okay, that time I got it. I must have made like one error and that screwed up the whole puzzle. Oh, you are it again. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm already there, right? This just lets me go right outside. I feel like they just copy pasted the room from You Are It and then just added a puzzle room at the end of the hallway. It's very weird. What's up, Reldo? I never did die, by the way. Oh, Reldo was actually Karos the whole time? That seems unnecessary, but alright. Flirt? Nice to meet you. I think that's stupid. I don't like any twist in any story that's just like a character is secretly another character the whole time. We totally planned that the whole time, right? It sounds like they have that problem a lot in modern RuneScape. Part of why I'm so annoyed by the Koshé the Deathless one, right? Oh my god, this sucks. Karos. All right. What do you know? I happen to have it on me. Just so happens I've already got those components with me. Why in the world are you just lugging those about with you? Because I'm guided here by an external will. The lusty Asgarnian maid. Uh-huh. Karos gives me like somebody's OC vibes here. Okay. Part of why I hate a character was actually just another character the whole time is that it just, I don't know, it's flat and uninteresting. Like, they could have just made Reldo important the whole time. I guess they wanted to specifically tie it to the Ring of Karos and be like, the question that sourced this whole thing is like, oh, who's Karos from that, you know, classic iconic Ring of Karos item. But I guess Reldo's just like a hot guy now is the idea, and he always has been in secret. Why? Doesn't make any sense. It's really the worst twist, and they do it so much in RuneScape 3. What are we doing here? Oh, Gale's back. Why? I hate this. I must battle Gale. You must tune the needle. I long for death. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It's so bad. Okay. No. Now we're here.
I know you are there, Sliske. The Shadow Realm cannot hide you from me. Step forward. We will speak.
Can we not do more Sliske? Can we be done with Sliske? Please? Please? They had a year where they stopped. Wait, what am I doing here? Oh, it's Sliske. But he's level 50? Broken shard of Sliske's mask.
Quite perceptive, Guthix. Most people don't even have an inkling that I'm watching them. Not even the other gods.
I know why you have come, Sliske. I know what you are here to do.
I hate this. I hate this so much. This is so bad.
You are here to kill me.
Yes.
Good. Know this.
You just randomly
My
spawn.
death will not bring you what you seek, but it must be done, and it must be by your hand.
If I gain nothing, what is the point?
You will never be a god, but your hand will usher in a new age. With my death,
Just like specific
the
places I have
gods
to
shall
stand.
return.
And immediately start trying to kill each other. A new god wars. Now that does sound like fun. But why would you want such a thing?
A couple people on YouTube were annoyed when I was talking about the fourth wall break thing for Sliske. I'm not saying that like fourth wall breaking is a good character trait in all fiction, or even would necessarily be a good solution for a RuneScape villain. I was just saying that Sliske's endgame sucks as a quest, and the only way I could think to possibly like salvage that stupid maze is if the whole bit is that they know you're using a guide for it, right? Which would require him to be a fourth wall breaker. More talking specifically about that quest.
It is necessary.
That was pretty lame.
From my death will be born another. One that the world needs more than me. A new guardian for this world. One with the power to stand against those who will rise.
A world guardian. Tell me more.
He's fucking serious with this shit. Don't care about the world guardian. You and I are destined to do this forever. Kill Gothics. It's kind of funny. Fate will have its due. Alright. Thank God for old school RuneScape. Just happy they have voice acting this time. They get a chance to redo this with voice acting or something. Relitigate this forever, right? Just keep doing this over and over and over. Forget me. Alright, so we're back in his homeworld. Okay. The Gothic's talking? This is like a new thing that she loves, like Saren loved him or something? I don't get it. Oh, okay, so it's explaining why he picked out each of the individual gods. Kind of weird to go back and do this and be like, oh, he was actually like super buddy with the gods and it was sad to get rid of them. Do not regret that decision. I feel like previously the whole thing was that Gothics just hates the concept of gods. It seemed like. Is that everybody? Come find me, okay. Yeah, I hate this. This feels like a giant retcon, right? Like previously it seemed like Gothics' deal was just like the gods can't be allowed to interfere, and now he's like got like a personal relationship with each of them, and I don't know, I don't like it. Really don't like the he's in love with Saren part. None of that was your fault. I cannot let you do this. You saved me from death, World Guardian. I feel like we're really, really defiling, we're really defiling the needle skips here. I must battle Gale. You saved me, World Guardian. Like, oh my god, this is so lame. Okay, what are we doing here? What is happening? Oh, are you serious? There's a literal Dragon Ball Z fireball battle in the back of the screen. So bad. I hate this quest so much. What? This is... Oh my god.
Yes, absolutely. It is a vital part of the process. The staff, what you call the siphon, is a great symbol to the gods. It will rally them. It will make them listen. What are gods? Well, now that is a complicated question. They are mortals, suffused with a fragment of your great power that lets them tower over their own kin. They are focal points for the people of this world. Leaders and figures of worship. That is precisely why we should bring them all together for you to study. And I know just how to get them all together.
That's it? You got anything else for me, man? Oh, hey, look, it's Eleanor. Why are we doing this? This just feels really unmotivated. It does, if it's like trying to go for like intentionally surreal or dreamlike or whatever, it is not succeeding. This feels very arbitrary. Watch this space. Like a gap here. Oh, this is Gielinor is just here, like, without comment. Like, whatever, we've got the model, we may as well use it. Sorry, you keep seeing me do Windows snipping tool. It's because I'm, like, having to share this with people in Discord, my disgust at this awful quest.
The Necrocertes are rabid beasts, savages. They lack the subtlety needed to engineer our freedom. All they do is react, lashing out at false users, following the rule of our enslavers without question. Yet they may still prove useful. I have heard rumors of Saketh's experiment. It is bold and interesting, if flawed.
I wish I had my webcam on for this quest.
It requires elements.
You could just see the
it does not
light
yet
drain from my
possess.
eyes.
Access to the vault, for one. They also need a test subject. They will not use one of their own. There is that troublemaker who's been chasing after the Fremenic god. Perhaps a meeting could be arranged between them. Solve one problem and gain some valuable insight.
Okay. That was the quest where the first half was good and the second half really sucked.
Why aren't they fighting? I gave them the perfect prize, the perfect reason to kill one another. But they're doing nothing. Only Armadillo actually killed one of them. Armadillo! Everyone else just hides and bides their time. It's boring. Boring! This isn't what I imagined at all. Maybe it's time to bring in some other contenders. Let's get Guthix's precious World Guardian into play. I do so want to see these powers in action, whatever they are. Perhaps it's time Nomad came out of hiding. It would be a shame if Death got an anonymous call.
A waste of voice acting, too. Like, they're not saying anything interesting. They're just, I guess, trying to explain how things happen behind the scenes up till now. Who cares, right? Like, why are we doing this? It reminds me of the quest where we unnecessarily see the, like, overthrow of Zaros by Zamorak. But now it's like we're, like, relitigating things that have already happened in recent memory, not like ancient RuneScape lore, like quests that we released in the last 5 years.
Is enough anima. I can do it. I can set us free. And here I have in my hand an invitation. An invitation to the heart of Gielinor. The biggest, purest concentration of anima on this world. I do not believe in fate, but all the pieces are falling into place. For the first time in an eon, there is a chance.
I think this actually manages to be worse than a lot of the previous God slop. You don't want to redo his bottle for this scene, y'all. You imagine, like, this is like you're a brand new player and this is your third quest. You did You Are It. The needle skips in this and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Who are any of these people? What does any of this mean? What? Oh, Jesus Christ. What are we doing? This is the battlefield where I fought Sliske in Sliske's endgame. It's such like a lame... I guess it's supposed to be a puzzle? Okay, one of them's targeting him now. How many of these are there? Are there supposed to be just... It looks like there's 1, 2, 3. Is it literally just the 3? Wait, there's more on this top level that I can't see how to get to. I have to do something with the temporal rifts. Oh, okay. Okay. Now we're just in ED2. Why is this like this? That's not, it's a frozen anima, not a mutable anima, I guess. If you could find anima to infuse it, maybe you could use it. What? Oh, wow. Okay. It will clear after you release more frozen anima elsewhere. Dude, this is so stupid. Alright, let me try to find another one of these. Alright. Do I need to, like, do all of the little red wisps in order before I'm allowed to touch any of these or something? I don't understand what they want from me here. I think they're trying to enforce me to see these story sequences in order. But the actual puzzle of, like, bouncing the beams around is really dumb and not well conveyed. Do I have anima now? Oh, the orange ones are just green now. Okay. Fuck. The previous one was literally just click all the green things, but this one seems to be different. I looked it up on the wiki. This one has to point northwest. This one has to point south. Both of these have to point south, which they are. So literally all of that was just to get this one to point differently, I guess. And maybe this one also needs to go south. I feel like there's a suggestion of a puzzle that maybe existed where you're trying to, like, line up the crystals with the rifts or something, but it's so arbitrary. Very poorly designed. Like the opposite of a good light beam puzzle. Okay.
The World Guardian arrived just too late. Karapak's plan had worked flawlessly.
Karapak's plan worked flawlessly.
With a triumphant shout, he plunged the staff into the needle.
Why did we
to
trust him in the
absorb
first
its power.
place?
Gale watched in horror as control of the needle was torn from her and given to the dragonkin. In an instant, she was Gale no more. Primrose stood, staring at the monster
don't
before her.
Ruined needle skips.
Karapak roared in triumph. The power of the needle now his to command. He took to the air, and the needle vanished from sight at the whim of its new master. He flew east to the coast
Jesus.
and out across the sea, vanishing into a great storm. And there he set to work on the next stage of his endeavor.
I don't have an insult for him right now, but I am brewing one, and it will be epic. Cringe. There's no other word for it. This quest makes me cringe. It's embarrassing. Oh god, if Primrose goes back to her mom now, I feel like that even further ruins the needle skips. Fuck. When I was saying earlier, when I had to like walk past Megan that this quest was going to defile the needle skips, I had no idea how bad it was about to get. That's so bad. It's completely rob all of the tragedy from that excellent quest. Jesus Christ, it's... Ugh. This might be my least favorite quest in the game. There's a lot of quests I don't like in RS3. There's a lot of god slop that I find annoying, but this one is just, it sucks. I don't like it. Not a fan. Okay. How could anyone have seen this coming? He's gonna kill everyone on Gielinor. He's definitely a villain. Awful. Truly awful. Transcendentally awful. Honestly. Actually, I think I'm gonna be lamping dungeoneering now because I don't want to actually level it. I should be able to get to 120 herbal without too much trouble. I think this clue carrier saves me some bank space, so that's nice. Yeah, saves me a really decent amount of bank space. Probably to the point where like you should just do that first. But if that's someone's first quest they do in RS3, how embarrassing. Wow. Just, I think there's nothing redeeming about that quest. Like, everything about it sucks. It's dog shit. It's worse than dog shit. This could just be recency bias, but Desperate Times is my new vote for worst quest in RuneScape 3. Previously, I probably would have awarded that to Salt in the Wound, but Salt in the Wound rates like a 0 out of 10, and this quest manages to ruin one of the best quests in the game. Like, because it makes needle skips worse, it has to get a negative score, right? Because it actually detracts from other things. So the quest opens with a scene that, if you've been following this series so far, you know that I just like let out the biggest sigh as soon as I saw it. Just tons of important characters in the second floor of the Berthorpe Castle, and it's clearly, this should be in like Prif or something, right? But it can't be in Prif because it's RS3 and our quests can't have prerequisites. So this giant quest that ties into literally hundreds of other quests takes place in Berthorpe, where any player can go to it immediately. I say immediately, but this quest does actually have 2 prerequisites. You Are It, which was a baffling quest about clue scrolls, Uri, and Karos. And then the Needle Skips, which is possibly the best quest in RuneScape. I want you to imagine a new player who comes for this quest early because it's been like, you know, marketed on social media, or because it gives you a clue carrier at the end that saves you some bank space. So to get to this, you do You Are It and Needle Skips, and then you start this, and the first thing you see is this room. Like, what is this mess? What is this nonsense? Who are all these people? I think this is the first quest in RS3 that uses their new, cheaper style of voice-acted cutscene where they just kind of fade to black and show some concept art and have some voice acting over it. I think that that's fine, honestly. You know, it's obviously cheaper than doing full voice acting, but it's nice to do little scenes like that, I suppose. The scene is really stupid, though. Saren is saying, all right, we solved the god problem, but now we've got a super god problem. Now the elder gods are an issue, and the threat isn't just to Gielinor, it's to the entire universe. Oh my god, kill me. It's kind of funny that this is happening because it feels like for about a year after Sliske's endgame, they were like, okay, let's stop doing this shit, right? Let's just do some one-off episodic quests about little stories here and there. We'll do a Penguin quest. We'll do Evil Dave's Big Day Out. We'll finally add Menaphos and do a little self-contained story about the desert. We'll close up the pirate quest line. We'll make Needle Skips possibly our best quest of all time, although I should have been concerned when I saw that that was in the Elder God quest series. At the time, it felt like it was a totally self-contained human story involving, you know, a Gielinorian artifact. They're doing stuff like Chef's Assistant. They're doing Curse of the Black Stone. Curse of the Black Stone is a little bit more on the slop side, but it's at least like, okay, let's just tell a big story about Obsidian from Pieces of Hate, and we'll tie together all the elite dungeons. It's fine. It doesn't tie into a big super story. But after spending about a year and some change on nice little episodic stories, feeling like we've escaped the constant serialized god slop, we're back into super god slop now. The quest starts with, you know, we need to like, you know, get the races of Gielinor to work together, blah, 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 blah. We're struggling to get everyone to work together. And Karapak shows up and says, you know what, we shouldn't try to appease the elder gods. Instead, we should try to stop them like the way I stopped the Stone of Joss. Now, I don't know why we're trusting Karapak. He doesn't seem like a good guy. It seems like actually, he's been pretty clearly set up as the next supervillain. But everybody kind of just goes along with it except for Saren. And then in a very poorly motivated scene, Karapak's like, okay, you got to go get this guy Karos. He's some guy who's like an inventor or something. Everything involving Karos in this quest sucks. It's bad. I don't find him interesting as a character. He feels like somebody's OC, like his entire character is his design and that he looks like a hot guy. I don't know. I just don't think that we've spent enough time on building up to Karos. There's not that much interesting in the idea that we had a ring called the Ring of Karos years ago. Like that's the entire basis for this guy. And You Are It didn't really do a lot to explain more about him. He has something to do with clue scrolls. Okay. Why does this matter to saving the universe? To get Karos' help, you have to go do a kind of stupid procedurally generated puzzle section where you do 3 sliding block puzzles in a row. I'm fine with there being sliding block puzzles. Like they're in so many quests in RuneScape, whatever. It's like the identity of RuneScape at this point to have sliding block puzzles, but these are unusually lazy. If you go and you watch the VOD where I'm doing it, it's I don't know. They're poorly done and they're poorly conveyed. When it's done, though, it sends you back to talk to Reldo in the library, and twist, everybody, it turns out that Reldo was actually Karos in disguise the whole time. Now, why he needed to be in disguise as the Varrock librarian, who the fuck knows? It's a really, really stupid twist. I think it's my least favorite twist in fiction when you do a thing where you're like, oh, this character was actually this other character all along. You know, Koschei the Deathless, Rey Palpatine. It's weak as fuck. It's not set up because obviously they didn't intend this. It doesn't change the circumstances or the stakes or the emotional motivations of any of our characters. It's just a thing to make people go, whoa, holy shit, Reldo was actually a hot guy? Like, why? It's a twist for twist's sake. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about, I already did some of the Fort 4 and 3 quests out of order a while ago. So I know about the whole the raptor is Elamaria thing. And at the time, I lukewarmly defended that decision. I said that the quest itself was kind of weak and delivered it poorly, but that I wasn't opposed to the idea of the raptor being Elamaria if they had maybe spent a little bit more time setting it up. There were several annoying misogynist chuds on the internet bitching about that quest, saying that it was Jagex being woke. You know, Jagex should be woke. Wokeness is good, actually, okay? But, I didn't really understand that a lot of people were legitimately upset about that reveal because it's a pattern of behavior from Jagex at this point, right? I think a lot of people were upset about that quest because they just keep doing this now, where it's just like, oh, Koschei the Deathless is actually Karshai, and Reldo is actually Karos. Just stop, guys. It's not a twist. It's not interesting. It doesn't change anything. It's dumb, and I hate it. So Karos was actually Reldo the whole time, although now I guess he doesn't think he needs to be in disguise anymore, and he uses his engineering magic. He does something to let you fuck with the needle. That's right, we're using the needle in this quest for some reason. Something about giving anima to Karapak so he can fight the Elder Gods or something. It sounds like it's a bad idea. Like, maybe we shouldn't give a bunch of anima to Karapak, but whatever. You would think that we would be using the needle to go back in time, because that's like the idea that's established by the needle skips. You know, use the needle to do something that's time travel oriented, and you kind of do that. We're like going back in time to do a stupid back in time mini game involving feeding anima to Karapak, and we're like reliving through scenes that already happened in the Sliske's game series. I don't know how to describe this to you really without you watching it, but it feels nostalgic for Sliske's game. Like, it's like showing off how cool everything from the World Wakes Forward was. And it's like, guys, you can't be nostalgic for this. You just put this out here. It's indulgent, for lack of a better word, and it's indulgent about content that kind of sucks. Like, we live through Guthix getting killed again, and they just add some context where, like, Sliske's talking to Guthix, and it's voice acted, and it's pointless. We go back to Guthix's homeworld, and we find out that there was actually more going on with his whole edicts thing, that it wasn't just that he thought that gods were bad for the world, which I thought was a great theme from World Wakes. I think World Wakes is actually a pretty good quest. Instead, he has, like, a personal relationship with all the gods, and he, like, was like dating Saren or something. It's weird. It's very retconny. Like, maybe they planted shit about this in blog posts or somewhere else in the game up to this point, but it feels like they've just decided that they wanted to say that Guthix had these relationships with these other gods. The whole time you're doing this, you're constantly doing this extremely lame puzzle. I also don't know really how to articulate why this puzzle sucks. It's theoretically similar to like a light beam puzzle where you're trying to line up lasers so that they meet up in a certain location. but the layout is like completely arbitrary. They keep passing through these portals and you have no way of knowing which portal goes where. So you kind of just do it by brute force. They didn't put a lot of thought into it, right? Instead of shooting light beams around, you're like bouncing anima around to get it to empower Carapac, because that's a good idea. I forgot to mention this, but when we first started doing this shit with the needle, Gale showed up, and there's this horrible line where Carapac says something like, I need to battle Gale, you know, go inside and do what you need to do. So already I'm like, guys, please don't, let's not fuck with Gale or Megan or any of the story from the needle skips at all. I'm okay if the needle matters now to Godslop, but let's like leave that stuff alone, right? That was a nice, self-contained story that wrapped up beautifully. Gale does not need to be involved in this shit. Well, the quest concludes with, like, Carapac stealing Gale's power of being able to use the needle, which essentially reverts her to Primrose, and Jesus Christ. They found this awful, convoluted way to basically heal Gale and restored her to her former self, and also she's not sick and dying anymore. It really ruins the needle skips, because the needle skips is dependent on having that kind of like sad, bittersweet ending, and you can't just come in and say, well, everything's fine now. Oh, it's so bad. And then Carapac's like, I'm gonna destroy all of Gielinor. It's like, okay, like we already established that the stakes were that the universe was gonna be destroyed, so the stakes are that Gielinor is gonna be destroyed, and we have to deal with you now instead of with Joss or whatever. Who gives a shit? It sucks, and I hate it, and it's dumb. I really had my hopes up there because there was like an entire year and a half of content where it's like, okay, we did this Liske thing. We learned some lessons about what we want to do and what we don't want to do. For example, we learned we're not going to do moral choices anymore because we obviously can't deliver on them. I guess there's no moral choice in this quest, so that's an improvement. But other than that, it's like the worst kind of Godslop. I want to be able to blame this on Capital. Like, I want to blame everything on Capital. I want to be able to say, okay, this is clearly the suits meddling with the game because they're trying to get, you know, more people to click on RuneScape or something. And maybe that's partially true. Maybe there's pressure from whoever's owning Jagex at the time this quest came out to like have a marketing campaign that's really exciting, that's talking about gods, kind of like what WoW is constantly doing. But I honestly don't think that it's that. I mean, sometimes you can just have some artists who you respect, who make good art a lot of the time, who just occasionally make a stinker. And I think that everything that has to do with the gods and with Sliske and this shit especially is a stinker. I just don't think RuneScape works as a game that's about these like cosmic stakes. It's boring. I don't particularly need the World Guardian to be the main character. In fact, that's the thing that I complain about all the time, is that we've made him so important. But like the World Guardian is simultaneously the most important person in the universe and also not even really here, basically like a camera, you know, like Vaughn from Final Fantasy XII. That's kind of what Sliske's game felt like in the first place. It's like all of these NPCs interacting with each other, and the World Guardian is here to just, I don't know, advance their plots, but the World Guardian doesn't have any agency of her own. You don't really do anything in these quests. You're just watching cutscenes of Dragon Ball Z characters fighting each other constantly, and that's funny because this quest literally has a Dragon Ball Z fireball scene. I really hope that old school RuneScape never dips its toe into this shit at all. Just recognizes this is an RS3 thing, keep the stakes low. You can have exciting quests here and there, you can do like big culminations to long storylines, but like don't make it about the fate of the universe, guys. I don't know if I've conveyed why this bothers me. I think you all get that it bothers me, but it bothers me because when the stakes are the fate of the universe, we're not going to delete the servers, right? Like there is no peril, there is no sense of drama because you know that we're just going to win. When the stakes are who is going to be the pharaoh of Menaphos, like there's lots of different answers to that question. When the stakes are what's going to happen with this lady with a dying daughter who's trying to use time travel to keep her alive indefinitely, like that could end in any number of interesting ways. But when the stakes are we have to save the universe, the only thing that's going to happen is we save the universe. Who cares? It sucks, and I'm not looking forward to anything else in this quest line. All right, it took me a very long time of doing it every day, but I finally ran out of Crystal Motherlode shards, so I'll clear that from my bank. Didn't get anything good from it. I can't think of a single item I got from it that made me go, wow, that's cool. I'm a bit past the halfway point on Blessed Sand now. I probably should bounce and go do these mini quests here. Helping Laniakea and Father and Son. I might try to fit in Once Upon a Slime too if it's short enough, we'll see. Oh boy, this quest apparently requires an arcane apaterasaur meat, so I gotta go do Big Game Hunter really quick because I don't have any of those in the bank. Hold on. I haven't done Big Game Hunter in an extremely long time, so I just need to get like 1 kill on the easiest dinosaur, so it should be fine. I think I remember the gist of it. Should be okay. Hey, my first color guess was correct. Okay, well, that's good. I am just gonna get rid of all this shit because I don't have space for any. Oh, I totally missed that I actually had some of this meat in this bait box. Oh well. I think she's a Slayer Master. We'll see if I ever end up doing any actual Slayer. Let's talk about you. Poisons? I'm gonna teach you how to make those poisons. You want to help me out with something? Okay. Ugo. Sure, why not? You make custom equipment. Camouflage fishing rod, the strong odor. I was expecting it to be so complicated. Alright, so I don't think I get any guidance on what to do with this, so I guess I'll just follow the wiki. Let's see. Wiki says if I go anti-clockwise on the agility course that it'll just naturally take me to all of the stops. So let me try to do that. Okay, so there's like a spring here. There's a strange bird here. Okay. Does this even require fishing? I don't think it does. Yeah, there's like crazy fish. This would have been like a community event to find all of these on launch for this mini quest. A rock here. Block of stone. Okay. Oh, these are really hidden. There just happens to be a vine like over here. This is a fishing line. Alright, and then the last thing I need is a something near where Irby Werby starts, which isn't far from here. Okay, this is the last piece here. And I have to take it back to the base, it looks like. Smells, I see. Okay, so I think we talked to them. A what? I feel like this quest needs to have a fishing requirement. Okay, that's it. Dirty stick. What am I doing with the dirty stick? Mucky water here. Okay, immaculate jungle stick. You're like making this really complicated fishing rod and this complicated bait for a thing that requires level 0 fishing. Is it custom fishing rod, custom fishing lure? Fishing spot is like really hard to see how I can catch it from all the way up here, no kidding. Ugu. Alright, that was fast. I think I can actually use the Slayer cape to teleport to her here. Oh wait, there she is. Totem of Intimidation middle. All right. I don't remember which totem pieces I have. I haven't gotten a totem piece in like 1,000 hours or something. It's been a really long time since I did anything with that. I have a totem bag, don't I? This thing. I have the other pieces. Okay, may as well put them together then. Why not? I think the advantage of this guy is this the one that makes it so that the God Wars dungeon no longer requires kill count? Yeah. Next mini quest is Father and Son, which looks like it's like 2 pieces of dialogue. It's like really fast. I don't even know why they bothered making it a mini quest. Yeah, so we talked to Erwinson. I think I've actually dealt with this guy a bunch of times just by doing his shop, but not actually talking to him. Relica. Now we're in the era of everyone having a nice model. Aw. Okay. Sigley, your son. I spoke to your son. Shouldn't he be named Sigley's son? His idol, he's always looked up to you. Okay. This is fine. It's a cute little, like, side story thing, but what an odd thing to throw in as officially a mini quest. Okay. Thanks. Weird. Okay, we'll squeeze in this Once Upon a Slime quest. Maybe it'll go in the next episode. I'm not sure. Okay, Peter. What's going on around here? I didn't do it. Whoa there. Thon King Slime Fellow's knocking around again. What? The previous King Slime event? Could you remind me? Is this like a world event or something? They like turned into a formal quest? Okay, well, I'm going to pause to look at the wiki and figure out what the context is. Slime is of the Essence was a 5-day community event and treasure hunter promotion. November 2018. Ugh. All right, well, anyway. Accept quest. Cutscene. Whoa. That's kind of cool looking. Queen Slime. Okay. The music just like playing the Big Game Hunter victory music on loop. I'll try to fix that in a second. I don't know what's happening. The stupidest idea I've ever heard. They didn't really do a good job of reminding me about the quest. Oh, is there already a Queen Slime here? That's kind of funny. Going with my plan then. Gods give me strength. Okay, so we gotta get... Put a top hat on him? Okay. Thessalia. Chef costume? I guess he does have the chef outfit. Thessalia. Once upon a slime. This would be tough to explain. How could I not have? I still have nightmares of the chaos he caused in Remington that we all know about from this limited time treasure hunter event. But they assume that I did. What's the good news? King Slime Fiasco is definitely behind us. Also in front of us. This is a funny quest, at least. I'd rather this than Desperate Times. Get a top hat. Guess that could work? Doing ridiculously large top hats? A world record attempt? That's really funny. The second largest of all time. That's oddly convenient. Can I borrow it? Okay. Okay, back to Peter. Excuse me. Get him a wee top hat. Did you not get? I have to make it small now. I originally thought it was going to be tiny. Sometimes you say words and I don't know what you mean. Means telling off. Oh, right. Okay. Back to Thessalia. Hey, can you make me a small hat? Too big? How could it be too big? You're a massive slime king. What do you want me to do about it? Regularly sized, but I specialize in giant top hats. Peter knows this. Damn. Eva. I have an idea. A shrinking wish? It's pretty funny. Start with a giant top hat and then shrink it. South of the bank in East Varrock. Okay. Eva. What's up, Eva? That's great. Got this giant top hat. What is the second largest I've seen? I hope they never comment on the second largest thing. Way too big. Oh, this is perfect. You could shrink it using my machine. I was hoping you'd suggest that. First one to test it. Is it safe? 100% certain that it's probably safe. Oh, okay. So is it Mastermind? Shrink something. Silver? I'll just press 1 on everything. Silver, cold, red, decrease. Yes. KSL. 3 out of the 6 machine settings. Okay, so let's do the first 3 the same. The second 3, 2. 4 out of 6. That's interesting. I guess things could have flipped in the back half, right? Let's try doing 2 for everything and see what it tells me. 2 out of 6. No, everything's fine. I got it. Okay, well, you've seen me do Mastermind before. Let me just do it here. Bam, throw it a few times. You have successfully configured Eva's shrinking machine. Okay. We have a regular top hat. Back to Peter. Here you go, Peter. Peter. Got the Wii top hat here. If you look at that, that's class. I'm just gonna make more slimes. I think it's playing this music on purpose during this quest. It's weird. It's like such a short track to repeat over and over. A little top hat, that's cute. No! Okay, so she rejected his advances. Enough of your negativity. Have a chat with her. Okay. Poke Queen Slime. Hello, love. What's wrong with you? Okay. Pink goop. Hold the pink goop. It feels sticky. What'd she say? Nothing useful. Don't speak, slime monster. Oh? Yeah, my favorite bucket. Okay. Somewhere in Remington. Where in Remington? Just keep saying somewhere in Remington. I don't know where. I don't think it's like a hot and cold thing. Okay, I'll look it up one sec. Oh yeah, it looks like it's supposed to be right here. So we use the bucket on the cauldron, then use that on the goop. Way around. Use the purple goop on the king slime. Okay. Yeah, this is intentional music. What a weird choice. Make the king slime the same color. Go on, my son. Just look at him. Okay. Get on, girl. Oh, gods. Uh-oh. Hey. Just the queen slime. We did it. What do you mean we did it? We absorbed him. Never seen or hear from her again. Oh, it's a pet? Okay. Good luck, Peter. That was pretty silly. I'm cool with it, though. Once Upon a Slime is a super short quest that I guess is a sequel to a limited time treasure hunter promotion, which feels a little icky. I don't really care, though. It's just kind of a goofy short quest that gives you a pet. It's free to play. It doesn't really matter. I'd rather have a dozen of these than Desperate Times. There's a king slime, and to get rid of the king slime, a guy wants you to get the king slime to fall in love with a queen slime, so you have to get him a big top hat, but then the guy gets mad that the top hat's too big, and so you have to shrink the big top hat to make it regular sized, and then the queen slime eats the king slime, and that's the end. It's funny, though. It's good. Not a lot to say about it, though. That's a wrap for this one. Next week, I'll probably just be doing Desperate Measures because it's listed as very long in the quest guide. We'll see if maybe I can fit in one or two after that. I need to do about 2 quests on average for the rest of the series to make sure I finish within 99 episodes. Still working on the Blessed Flask in the background. It's really good to have the Holy Elixir out of the way. That's probably the most dangerous thing. Everything else I can do. It's just kind of a slightly annoying grind. Thank you, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye.